Just a heads up before you watch, there are spoilers pertaining to this game's final boss. The game is now over 4 years old, but I know at least one of you still hasn't played this game fully, so be warned. With that out of the way, let's jump right into it. This next set of legendaries all come from the final boss of the main storyline, the Warrior. He drops the Flacker, the Volcano, the Conference Call, the Impaler, and the Leech. And a head for your character that makes them look like they're wearing Jack's mask. Normally, I would suggest going and killing the thing over and over again, but you don't actually need to in this case. There's a way to farm the Warrior that's as simple as the push of a button, the Moonshot console. In the story, you basically call down a Moonshot blast on top of the Warrior's head while it lay beaten and battered after your fight. This one and only kill has a ridiculously high chance of dropping one of the 6 items I mentioned. It's much easier to do if you have a friend join you, grab the goods, bail, and then you force quit the game. But if you're nimble enough, you can do this yourself. If you'll notice, in that first clip, I got Jack's mask. In the second clip, I get the Conference Call. Do this as many times as it takes, and you will eventually get one of the items I mentioned earlier. Let's head to the gun range and test these weapons out. Let's begin with the Flacker. The Flacker is an odd weapon that fires projectiles in an extremely large spread that detonate after reaching a certain distance. It's good at clearing large groups of enemies right in front of you. It's a bit hard to use, but if you can tame this beast, it's excellent at clearing waves of enemies. Next, let's look at the Volcano. A returning legendary from Borderlands 1, the Volcano deals reduced damage and has a smaller than average elemental effect chance. However, it deals 80% splash damage over the traditional Molly-1 snipers only dealing 50%. In addition, if fired at a group of enemies, the Volcano has the chance to cause enemies who have been ignited to pass on burns to enemies nearby. The decreased chance to deal elemental damage hurts this weapon, and with UVHM's enemies regenerating health, this weapon's usefulness falls off after playthrough 2. Next we have the Conference Call. The Conference Call fires projectiles that fire more projectiles after a certain distance in a horizontal perpendicular pattern. This creates a sort of capital T shape when firing. It's wise to shoot for a practicable prefix for this weapon, as it raises the pellet count from 5 to 7. The Conference Call isn't my favorite shotgun, but it is pretty powerful. That's all of the guns. Now let's move on to the grenade mod and shield. The Leech, the grenade mod, is a grenade which splits into 4 separate homing grenades. It acts like a transfusion grenade mod because damage dealt heals you. However, rather than seeking out and healing you or your allies, it simply does it automatically. It's a pretty neat grenade mod, but I prefer something that can slag many targets easily. Finally, we have the Impaler. The Impaler is an always corrosive spike shield that deals spike damage to melee attackers, in addition to firing homing spikes at enemies who have shot bullets at you. Note, this does not include rockets, grenades, or bullymong projectiles, only bullets and melee attacks. The homing spikes are slow and sometimes don't even hit, so the shield is pretty meh. I prefer other shields personally. And of course, Jack's mask. So creepy. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope these guides are helpful, and as always, I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.